Today we're going to be installing this GT500 style gloss black spoiler on this Performance Package 2. We're going to show you a quick product review, talk about our premium hardware kit that comes along with the spoiler, a step-by-step installation, and ultimately some glamour shots of how beautiful this spoiler is on the Performance Package 2. Check it out. Here we have the Mustang GT500 style gloss black spoiler fitting your 2015 plus Mustang. Depending on whether or not you have a spoiler from the factory, it's probably going to make installation a little bit easier or difficult. If you do have a spoiler, in most cases, it's just pulling off the factory spoiler, taking your time getting rid of all of that goo and gunk from the double-sided tape from the factory, and then adhering your brand new GT500 style spoiler. But aside from that, it has a beautiful painted gloss black finish, includes the tinted gurney flap. One thing that is different from this spoiler versus the Ford Performance variant is that the Ford Performance variant actually is a piece of fiberglass painted black. This is actually Lexan or plexiglass that's tinted or smoked, meaning you have the ability to see through it. Does help your rear visibility and gives it a slightly different look depending on what kind of style you have with your S550 Mustang. This spoiler includes everything you need for installation. We do have the double-sided tape here, as well as the standard hardware and the premium hardware that I'll show you in a minute that's already installed on the spoiler. Again, this spoiler will fit any S550 Mustang that has an existing spoiler on it, with the exception of California Special. Those pedestal spoilers actually have two vertical holes in the center instead of two horizontal like the rest of the spoilers, so some drilling may be required. Aside from that, everything you need for installation is included, from the double-sided tape for each of the 3 mounting surfaces, as well as the standard hardware. But we now offer a premium hardware kit to make installation that much easier. Many of you have already installed these on your S550 Mustangs, and we have been listening, which is why we developed this hardware kit. Let's show you exactly how it looks. With the premium hardware kit that comes with this GT500 style spoiler, you'll have these locating studs here. The only purpose of these is essentially a dowel. Think about a clutch and flywheel going into place. These dowels are going to help line that spoiler up with the factory holes in your deck lid. You also have the stainless steel stud and nylock nut. The stainless steel stud, obviously very similar to the Ford Performance setup. You put Loctite on this to hold it into place, and then you have this nylock nut that is flanged on the end and will evenly distribute the weight spoiler to the deck lid, so you're not going to over tighten it because you know that nylock's going to hold things in place. You also have these stainless steel button head screws or bolts that will hold the gurney flap into place. The included standard hardware does have a black Phillips head bolt that holds that gurney flap. You can either do stainless steel or black, depends on your taste, but the point is our included premium hardware kit, if you opt for it, is a lot easier to install on your deck lid, specifically because of these alignment dowels or the locating studs, and the fact that you're not going to be putting a bolt through the bottom of the trunk. You're going to have a stud to drop the spoiler into place. And we do highly recommend picking up the premium hardware kit. We did listen to you guys who have installed this spoiler already. We've obviously done it testing before we offer the spoiler on our site. It does make it a ton easier to have those locating studs, so we do recommend picking up that premium hardware kit. We are going to show you, however, both using the standard hardware as well as the premium hardware, installing it on this GT behind me, so check it out.
Here are the tools required for installation. Go ahead and pop your trunk and begin removing the rubber grommets under the trunk lid. You can then remove the rubber stops and the plastic cover over the trunk latch and the emergency escape handle. Then, using a plastic pry tool, you can remove the Christmas trees holding the fabric in place. Then you're ready to remove the fabric cover. After that, grab your ratchet and you're ready to begin loosening the nuts holding the spoiler in place. There are 4 of them. Once you have it started, you can go ahead and lower the trunk and then loosen it. when it's directly up and down. That way if the nut falls, it's going to fall out of the trunk and not into the trunk lid. Once all 4 nuts are removed, you're ready to begin removing the spoiler itself. This is the most time-consuming part, especially if your spoiler hasn't been removed before. In this instance, it's relatively easy for us since the customer has already had the spoiler off before. If you haven't had your factory spoiler off before, there's going to be quite a bit of adhesive tape holding that spoiler in place, especially if it's been on the car for a long time. So be sure to take your time. A great tip is to use 25-pound plus fishing line to work your way from one side of the spoiler to another. Then you can go ahead and begin removing all the excess double-sided tape on the trunk lid. Grab some waterless wash or a bucket of soap and water to clean up the area. Then you can use Goof Off or Goo Gone to remove the additional adhesive that's on the trunk surface. Then once all the adhesive is removed, go ahead and wipe it down with rubbing alcohol. Now you're ready to move on to your new GT500 style spoiler. Wipe down all 3 mounting surfaces with rubbing alcohol, and then you're ready to remove one side of the double-sided tape and install it on the mounting surfaces. There are 2 different ways to install the spoiler. We have the standard hardware that comes with the spoiler right out of the box, and we now offer an upgraded hardware kit that you can buy in addition to the spoiler to make this install a little bit easier. We're going to show you how to install the spoiler both ways, with the standard hardware and the premium hardware pack. If you purchase the premium hardware pack, go ahead and skip ahead. A great tip here is to use the razor blade to cut back the plastic film. That way you can peel it over so it's outside of the adhesive area, and once the spoiler is being installed, you can peel back the plastic film and then drop it into place. Once you've done that to all 3 of the mounting surfaces on the spoiler with the plastic film, you're ready to install the spoiler itself. So while you and your buddy are holding the spoiler into place, you have a Phillips head screwdriver with the standard hardware, and you can hold the spoiler, and with enough light there you can see where the hole is, everything lines up, and then start the screw by hand with the Phillips head screwdriver. We definitely recommend having another person holding up the other side of the spoiler while you get the screws into place. Once you have all 4 screws started, but not completely bolted down into place, you can peel back the plastic film so you can adhere the spoiler to the trunk lid. Now if you have the premium hardware, we'll show you how to install that. For the gurney flap, you can install the stainless steel button head screws. For either side, we have a longer stud for the inner hole. And 2 smaller studs for the outer 2 holes. Remember to put a drop of blue Loctite on each of these studs. So the longer silver studs are going to go in the inner holes on either side of the spoiler, and then obviously the 2 holes in the center section. The reason why the premium hardware kit makes things so much easier is because you are taking the studs and putting them into the holes. You're letting gravity do the work with the studs versus trying to line up the holes and do it from the bottom. Go ahead and grab your Nylock nuts and get them started by hand, and then you can completely tighten them all down. Then you can reverse the disassembly process and your installation's complete.
Not gonna lie, installation of a spoiler on an S550 Mustang, whether you have one or not, can be a little tedious, especially when it comes to removing that adhesive from your factory spoiler. In this case, we lucked out because the owner had previously removed the spoiler, so it's a bit easier of an installation. But again, check out the Ford Performance spoiler installation on my GT350 because we spent literally an hour to 2 hours removing all the adhesive off the rear trunk of that car. Aside from that, it looks absolutely stunning against the form lighting. tail lights, as well as the beautiful 3-inch catback we just installed right here at Steeda. So check out those videos. If you want to see any other cool content, whether it's Mustang or anything Ford related, hit us up in the comments below. Steeda.com for all of your Ford performance and Mustang needs. Hit that like and subscribe button, the notification bell. Don't forget the most important thing, speed matters.